What's up everyone, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Fox Farm Brewery, and they're out of Salem, Connecticut, and this is their Helmhold. So they're calling this one a Munich-style Dunkel that comes in at 5.3% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed. Time of review. This can is just under 3 months old. I want to give a huge thanks shout out once again to a very good friend of mine and a viewer of the channel, Rick, for hooking me up with this beer. So big thanks to him. In the description box, I'll post a link to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies that Rick hooked me up with. And I still have a couple more lagers from Fox Farm to review. This is one of them, and as usual, I'm quite excited. So I will say that this is one of those styles that I do enjoy quite a bit. I just don't review it as much on the channel, so I'm happy that Rick sent this one my way. So yeah, anyway, let's crack it open, get it into the glass, and see what we got going on here. So I'll always enjoy, no matter the style, trying something from Fox Farm, but their lagers typically, you know, between 4 to 5.5% are the ones that really excite me. They just do them so extremely well, and I'm assuming that this is going to be much of the same, but we'll see. Got to review it, right? Sometimes breweries miss. Fox Farm hasn't done so for me yet. Anyway, so that has this beautiful, like, dark caramel kind of orange. It has like a really deep amber, but I don't know, it just reminds me of caramel on camera. It's probably gonna look like dark brown or maybe like a really dark amber. Hold it up to the glass. Yeah, I mean, it's darker, but there is some good clarity. I can see my hand through it, obviously. But yeah, it looks really nice. Has about a finger, just over a finger of a straight up. I would say that is like a almost toffee colored head, maybe a little bit lighter. Definitely like a khaki, maybe a dark khaki looking head, very creamy looking. It looks honestly like a beautiful beer in the glass. So let's get a nose. Yep. Tons of bread, like toasted brown bread, but then there's a little bit more of like a sweet kind of like caramel toffee, maybe even like a dark chocolate, maybe even a touch of like a nuttiness. I just love, very, very akin to Helles lagers, where I enjoy like when the bready notes from the malt are very complex, or the malt is complex in general, and that's what this is doing for me right now. It smells like sweet and rich, but I know when I drink this, it's not going to be sweet and rich. It's going to be very well balanced. And in the nose, though, it's just fantastic. There's maybe a very slight like floral herbaceousness that I'm getting from probably the hops, but very minute. It's just the malt's dominating, and I love it. Oh, it just smells awesome. It really does. So cheers, everybody. Thanks again to Rick. Beautiful beer, very well done. I want to say Dunkels and Helles's and Czech Dark at this point are kind of like my favorite as far as lagers go in general. Something about just more of the malt flavor coming to the forefront and being more complex just wins me over. But they have to have some kind of balance, and this has a beautiful balance to it. This is like medium body, 5.3%, really nice. The mouthfeel, it's super crisp, but not over the top. It's like moderate carbonation. So it's effervescent, but not over the top for what this style should be. It's very clean on the palate, and it is incredibly refreshing right now. Taste-wise, right up front, all that toasted brown bread, maybe even a touch of honey. There's caramel, there's toffee. But when I say that, I'm not saying like the sweetness that a caramel or a toffee would provide. It's just really the flavor with a little bit of sweetness. There's a dark chocolate, halfway through the palate, a little bit of a nuttiness. As it transitions, the malt character starts to die out a little bit. Like I said, like that dry nuttiness hits me. And then in the back of the palate, I get a very, I want to say mild to moderate bitterness, more approaching moderate. It has like this slight floral kind of earthy bitterness. It finishes semi-dry with, yeah, almost a moderate bitterness. Very well balanced from the sweetness to the bitterness. Like it. This is incredibly well done. I would say this, if I was like Rick, or I was Rick, or anybody who can get Fox Farm stuff, they would just be in my fridge all the time, especially when it comes to the lager game. and their low ABV stuff, it would be one of those breweries where it'd be like, I'd go to their brewery probably once a month at the very least and just pick up a bunch of different cans, because you can buy singles at the brewery, and just have them in the fridge from when I'm like fiending for a Helles Lager or a Dunkel or a Czech Dark or a Pilsner or whatever the case may be. Like, they would be in my fridge. I'd probably buy a can or two of everything, just have it, because they're low enough ABV where I could probably review a beer plus drink one off camera for me personally. And I think that would be great. Good price points. They just make awesome beer. This might be my favorite from them. I'm biased because, again, I like this style. I like Helles Lagers, and I like Czech Dark Lagers. So I'm always going to be biased to those styles when they're well done, because it's a personal preference thing, like everything else in life, when it comes to your likes and dislikes and whatnot. But this just hits me in the feels. 5.3%, you can't tell, and you shouldn't, and it's just an awesome beer. So, Helmhold, the Munich-style Dunkel from Fox Farm. I have absolutely no issues giving this one a straight 4.5 out of 5. This is incredibly well done. This is just like, yeah, it's really, really, really good for what it is. Now, if you don't like this style, or you're not a huge lager person, whatever the case may be, I think you might not want, or you might not, give this a super high score, but this is incredibly well done for the style, but on top of that, I love the style. So I need to drink and review more of these. I've been doing that with Czech Dark Lagers. I need to start doing this. And I need to pick up some authentic German ones. Anyway, price and availability, this is $3.95 a can. Rick sent it to me, obviously, so I didn't have to pay for it. But just under $4 a can for something that I just gave a 4.5 to. Yeah, it might be pricey for a 5.3% lager, but at the end of the day, I would easily pay that again. And availability is Fox Farm. Pretty sure they're only available at the brewery. You might find drips and drabs in and around Salem, but I'm pretty sure you can't get them all that easily. So that's why I appreciate Rick sending these my way, along with another good friend of mine and viewer of the channel, Steven. Pretty much two folks that have hooked me up with Fox Farm beers in the past, and I just love their stuff. One of my favorite breweries in the Northeast, without question. I have one more from them. It's a Keller beer, and I'll probably review that in the next week or two, and I can't wait to get in that one. So anyway, huge thanks to Rick for this beer. If you've had this one before, post in the comment section. Let me know what you think about it. What do you think about this style in general? What is your favorite lager style? Do you love Pilsners? Do you love this style, Czech Dark Lagers? What is your jam? To me, it's Helles, this, and Czech Dark Lagers. And yeah, we'll see if that changes over the next year or two, but that's my jam. Anyway, till the next one, cheers.